Welcome to LightningStorm's Destiny update for April 2016, bringing you the latest news and general tidbits from the world of Destiny. And this is your host, LightningStorm. I'm going to take you through some of the things that I have now recently learned about the free April update that's happening on April the 12th. It's free to everybody who owns the Taken King expansion. And there's so much to talk about, and I'm going to try and get through it as quickly as possible. I don't want this video becoming too long. And while I'm doing it, I will be patrolling the Dreadnought. You might pick up a few things as I go along in the background. So, a few weeks ago now, Bungie revealed that there was going to be an update. Now, it was a free update, it's not DLC, it's just coming to anybody who owns the Taken King. You're going to download it as you would with a DLC package, and then it's up and running. Last week, 2 weeks ago I should say, they started doing Twitch TV casts on Wednesday to tell us more about what was going on. And I made a couple of videos, but because the news was moving so quickly, I've decided that this should be the video that I post. There's going to be a final video next week, I think, before April the 12th, where they go over a bit more detail. So Wednesday, that's usually at 11 AM Pacific time, which equates to about 6 PM UK time. On Twitch TV, just go to Twitch TV and look up Bungie, and you'll see the stream there. And of course, if you go there now, you will also see the recorded streams that they had, so you can catch up for yourself and see what they said. But if you don't want to do that, carry on listening, and I'll go through what's going to go on. So, if you're I'm going to assume that you've got the Taken King. I'm going to assume that you're familiar with the Reef, and the Reef is getting a bit of a revamp. So the arenas you should be familiar with, mainly from the quest line, and also doing it for reputation with Varix, who's in the Reef, and you'll also be acquainted with Petra in the Reef. And what we're going to have are 2 new arena events. Now, one of them is going to be matchmaking, and one of them is going to be for co-ops, just fire teams. In much the same way that the old arena events worked. The differences are that these arenas are only 3 rounds each. They're going to have save points, so if you go through the first round, you can't get to the second round for some reason, or you have to leave, it doesn't matter. When you go back in, you'll be at round 2 rather than round 1. Varix is going to give you a scorecard that you collect in much the same way as the Trials of Osiris, and depending on your performance over the week, he's going to give you rewards. So you go to Varix and he'll give you a reward if you do well. And the scorecard is going to have different objectives other than the high score every week. So that's the first thing. The arena is getting a revamp. Varix, as a vendor, will be then giving out those awards. Now, you may be acquainted, and if you're not, I'm going to tell you about it. You should be the Effervescence Trading Company, which sells things for real money. And the way you do that is through PSN. You buy silver, which is the currency that they accept. You get that for a little bit of real money, and you get some silver, and you can go there. At the moment, Effervescence has 2 packages that are really good. One that allows you to get the new look sparrows, the SLRs they call them, and you can collect those, and a horn package that gives you a new horn for your bike. So the sparrow packages are 500 each because you're guaranteed one of those vehicles, and the horn packages are 100 each. So if you have 500 silver, you can get 5 of them, and there's a chance drop of getting a really nice special SLR that I like, and I've got it, which I think is better looking than the rest. So with the horn packages, not only do you get a special horn, you might actually get a special SLR mount. Now, in this new update, they're going to be, the first thing to mention after that is there are going to be 2 new speeder bikes to collect, and there are going to be ways of getting those. And the other thing to note is that every week the postmaster is going to give you a free mystery box, and in that free mystery box it's going to be one item and the possibility of a thing that shades either your equipment or your weapon, changes the color of it. It's called a chroma. So that's right, what's basically happening now after the update is you will have the ability to change certain parts, certain sections of your weapons and your armor to different colors. So now there's even more customization. And the armor drops that come from these packages and that you can get, they are legendary, but they all start at light level 3, and the reason for that is they're largely cosmetic, but if you like them, you can infuse them up to the light level you want them. Now you might say, yeah, I might have for instance, a light level, I don't know, 290 helmet, and if you're used to transfusing things at the moment, you'll know that there's no guarantee you're going to get anywhere near 290 if you put it, especially with an item that the light levels are only 3. If you infuse that into light level 3, aren't I going to lose an awful lot of light? No, because what Bungie have just done is said that if you infuse a higher item, regardless of what it is, into a lower item, the higher item will overwrite the light score. So if you have a 290 helmet and you put it into a light level 3 item, it will become a 290 light level. And that will work for everything now. So none of this getting the calculators out, trying to figure out how much you're going to get. No. You got something higher, then you're going to overwrite the old light level with the new light level. Absolutely brilliant. So that's an amazing feature straight off the bat. Now also in these packages are different looks, different collections of armor to collect. So you can mix and match, or you can get all of the collections together. It previewed some amazing sets of armor for different classes that you might like the look of. And of course with this new system of colouring, it doesn't mean everybody's just going to be walking around with the same colour schemes. And also the old shaders work in combination with these, so you can mix and match your shaders and these chromas and come out with unique colour styles and patterns and looks. All great stuff. In those packages also the chances of dropping 2 new ships. I think there's 2 new ships that have the Taken kind of glow and look. They look stunning, so that's something else to look forward to, or to go for. And yeah, I mean, that's the armor side of it. The weapons now. So what's happening with the light level is in certain areas, for the arenas, for instance, being pushed up to a maximum of 335. So the maximum light level is going up to 335. How do you do that? Well, there's lots of different pathways to do that. The first, of course, are the 2 new arena events. The matchmaking is going up to 335. I think to 330 or 320, and I can't remember. I think it's 330. The co-op version of the arena is 335, so that's where you'll get even the higher rate stuff. But if you're not interested really in doing the co-op arena stuff, they're going to be doing a hotfix for the raids. So the hard raid will now drop loot at 335. The normal raid will be dropping stuff at 320. And then there are other ways of getting 335 loot, or up to 335 loot, including the Crucible, the Iron Banner tournament, the Trials of Osiris. So lots of ways to do it, lots of things to collect, and really injecting a much needed incentive, a much needed boost and variety into the LFA player versus environment side of the game, which had kind of become stifled slightly because people were relying getting to a point where they had to go through the faff, and it is a faff, and all the hours, because matchmaking isn't involved in external sites, looking for groups and getting involved in the raids, which can be an absolute nightmare for some people who just simply don't have the time. So now those players don't even need to worry about the raid. They've got lots of different ways of doing it, and brilliant. It's all I can say. My mind is truly blown. There's loads of new emotes to collect. It's just going to be a great period before the new DLC hits us in autumn. And judging by this update, I think this DLC they're coming out with is going to be as special. It's clear that Bungie, Activision are working, principally Bungie, because Activision is just the overall company, or the partner. They're working absolutely flat out on everything. It's just brilliant. Very talented people coming out with some amazing ideas. So, absolute kudos to Bungie. I can't say anything more than that. And so I think that's enough of the update and what's coming. Personally, as a player, I've had a great couple of weeks, but I've had to put a huge amount in. So I'm just going to end this with a little gripe, which is that I think the raids personally should have matchmaking at some point. Maybe that's something they can't implement at the moment. I hope at some point it does become that, because effectively what players like myself are doing, we're being forced to external sites, which you can find on Google, and if you look for Destiny LFG, which is looking for group, which will help you find players to match with raids, and then we're having to go back into the game, message these people, do all of these things that a matchmaking process would do in the first place. And I'm not swayed by any of the arguments. You know, the raids have save points and things, and people saying, well, they don't want you to do that because they want you to go through the whole raid. Well, if that was the case, there wouldn't be any save points in the raid, and if we left for whatever reason or we couldn't complete it, we'd have to start from the beginning, and that's simply not the case. So that's a moot argument straight away. And yeah, matchmaking would just solve everybody's problems, including fire teams who go into the raid with 6, lose 2, maybe 1 for various reasons, can't find somebody else. Boom, matchmaking takes over, and there you go. You got people queuing up to help you finish the raid at whatever point you are, right? So it's not a problem. Well, I died there from the Colossus. That was a bit sneaky. But aside from that, the community is very, very strong, very active. I'm sure this update is going to make it even stronger, more active. Lots of things going on. So much to do in Destiny as ever. In different ways, and you know, people have been ranting on about the Division quite recently. I played the Division beta. I thought it was very pretty looking, but for me the core gameplay, which is the key for me in Destiny, this amazingly strong Halo next gen core gameplay, FPS, is what drives the experience for me in Destiny, and always has. And I think that's why I think you're going to find an awful lot of players who are playing the Division now are just going to actually just come back, because unless they specifically really like the mechanics of the Division, which is a third person basically cover shooter, its core gameplay is not going to be the same for them. It's not going to be as fluid, it's not going to be as spontaneous, and I think that's what they're going to do. But we'll have to see. But for me, Destiny is my MMO of choice, if you like, on the platforms. And yes, all good, all steaming ahead. Kudos to Bungie. Thank you for listening. I'm going to leave it there. Have a great day, and we'll all see you Starside.